House of Cards is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
You're listening to House of Cards.
Today, the game is different.
I want to gamble. Gambling is a very serious business. Is that clear?
Welcome to House of Cards. Dave Weishaupt with you here, deep from the swamps of Jersey. We got a great show coming up for you. Virtual sports have exploded over the last year. I have to admit I enjoy playing them, whether it's virtual horse racing, dog racing, football. They are a blast to play, and you can even bet on them. On the show this week, we are talking with Brooks Pierce, the president and COO of a company that is at the forefront of virtual sports and online gaming. Inspired Entertainment creates games that are played around the world, and they're even creating a virtual game with the Major League Baseball Alumni Association. Right after this, we're talking with Brooks Pierce, who's going to tell us the incredible things that Inspired Entertainment has in store for us. So stick around. We'll be right back with House of Cards.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
You're listening to House of Cards. Check out our website at houseofcardsradio.com.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishaupt with you. I'm excited to talk to our next guest because I have been enjoying all of the games that his company has put out. The name of the company is Inspired Entertainment, and not only are they at the forefront of virtual sports, but they are doing amazing things in the online world. To tell us all about Inspired Entertainment and some of the great games that you can play and win some money on is Inspired Entertainment President and COO Brooks Pierce. Brooks, thanks for joining us.
Sure thing, Dave. My pleasure.
Yeah, I told you off air, I'm sitting in New Jersey, so I love everything that Inspired Entertainment is doing and all the games they're putting out. But for people who aren't familiar with Inspired Entertainment, can you describe the company and explain some of the great things you're doing in the gambling industry?
Sure. So Inspired is really kind of run in 4 different verticals or segments. So we have our gaming business, which is where we build slot machines, server-based gaming. Our virtual sports business, which I'm sure we'll talk about today, where we actually do graphic representations of games that people can play in very short snippets, so a 90-second or so event that people can bet on. We have our iGaming business, which you'd be familiar with in New Jersey, obviously a big market for us, where we build slot content for online players. And then the last segment of our business is very similar to gaming, but we call it our leisure segment, where we provide gaming machines and products for leisure places, primarily in the UK, and pubs and holiday parks, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a content creation-led business, growing fast on the digital side, on the online side, but with a ton of experience on retail gaming as well.
You know, we always get emails from young people interested in the gaming industry and how someone gets started in the gambling business. What led you to become part of Inspired Entertainment?
Well, I've been in the gaming business for 30 years, and I got into it, ironically. My father was the CEO of a company called Autotote that did technology for the horse racing business. So you probably heard the phrase the tote board. So sure. Autotote was a big player in that, and ultimately we took Autotote. My father unfortunately passed away, and that's how I came into the business. But myself and my partner Lauren Wheel and I built Autotote from a relatively small company, acquired a company called Scientific Games, and built it up to a very big company. Mm-hmm. Then we both kind of exited. I went to another company and ran that for a while, at least the Americas part of it, a company called Aristocrat that you probably have heard of. Sure. And in the interim, Lauren had gone through and had purchased Inspired through a SPAC before a SPAC was really anything anybody knew about. Mm-hmm. And about 3 or 4 years ago, he asked me to come run Inspired for him, and we're trying to kind of replicate the success that we've had in the past and taking a relatively small company and building it up through a lot of hard work and good luck to be a much bigger company. And we're well on the way to doing that.
You know, you use the term, I use the term, but the term virtual sports has really become more common in the gaming industry. I mean, I'm sitting here in New Jersey, like I told you, and people in the state have really become more aware of virtual sports over the past couple of years because of the online gaming aspect in our state. But for people around the country who may not be too familiar with virtual sports, what do you mean when you use the term virtual sports?
Sure. So basically, the easiest way I can think about it is, so think about whether it's a football game or a basketball game, or we just announced a big deal with the Major League Baseball Players Alumni Association to do a home run shootout game. So essentially what we do is, you probably have seen it, a lot of the way people look at it is it looks kind of like Madden or a 2K. So we basically get players, we put monitors on them, and then we motion capture all of their movements and then create a digital version of it. So it's a computer-generated game, but it looks amazingly realistic. In fact, some people can hardly tell the difference. We do that for sports like that. We also do horse racing. I mean, just to give you an example of the quality of the graphics and how realistic they are. When the pandemic was in kind of mid-form and the Kentucky Derby was canceled, Churchill came to us and asked us if we could do a computer-simulated version of the 13 Triple Crown winners racing against one another. Wow. So we put that together, and it was actually on NBC Sports in replacement of the Kentucky Derby. So, we really pride ourselves on making the most realistic representation of any sporting event we do, but it's all computer generated, and the results are determined randomly. So it's not like you can really handicap these races or these events. It's a random number generated that determines the outcome, very similar to like a slot machine.
I'm online all the time, and like I told you, I've been having a blast playing your games on Borgata, BetMGM, and Party Casino in New Jersey. And I started with the virtual horse racing, which was absolutely amazing. Can you give an overview of what other games people can find on these sites when people log on?
Sure. So we have 14 sports that we do online. So if they go onto any of the BetMGM sites, and BetMGM has been a terrific partner of ours. They're a great company to work with. But they can do anything from football, soccer, cricket, darts, car racing, horse racing, dog racing, literally the whole spectrum, tennis, golf. There's any number of sporting events that you can go on and play as a virtual sporting event. So it's open kind of 24/7. So there's always content available, and you get to select the sport that you're most interested in. And, we see, it's amazing. We see some numbers where people are betting, big amounts on cricket. virtual cricket in New Jersey, which, totally surprised us. We thought that was kind of a sport that no one knew in the States. So, wide variety of sports. And obviously, I encourage any of your listeners to go on and take a look, because it really is amazing how realistic the product is.
Okay, hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break. See you on the other side.
You're listening to House of Cards.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishottle with you. For those of you just joining us, I am talking with the president and COO of Inspired Entertainment, Brooks Pierce. What is the process like for creating a virtual sports game? I mean, do you take past statistics from a particular sport and create the game around that? Or what are the elements that you have to look at and take into consideration when creating a virtual game?
Well, we try and do it in terms of there's a lot of different ways to do it. So for the Kentucky Derby event or the Triple Crown event, we basically took all the data of all the Triple Crown winners, ran kind of algorithms, and then gave probabilities to each one of the horses. And then ultimately the outcome was determined by a random number generator, but Secretariat was the favorite because of all the past performance, and Secretariat did actually end up winning the race. But I think that probably fourth or fifth choice ran second. So it's a combination of algorithms, but it also is a random number generated to determine the outcome. But the thing, when I try and explain it to people on virtual sports, so it's kind of a funny thing, but we did our basketball game. Mm-hmm. So we were filming folks actually in Wales, and my running joke is, it's not easy to find 10 guys in Wales that can actually dunk. But we have a college coach that runs them through plays that we film. So it looks incredibly realistic. I mean, the dunks look realistic, the ball going down inside and then coming out to the 3-point line. So it plays and looks very much like a real game, because it's basically been done by professionals, to simulate the most realistic, view of a sport. So that's how we do it.
What has been your most popular virtual game to date, and does popularity depend on what market you're in? I mean, for example, is soccer more popular in Europe than in the United States?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, so on a worldwide basis, because this is a relatively new product in North America, but we've been doing this for, I think, 20 years or so around the rest of the world. It actually started with horse racing, because there was a disease, hoof and mouth disease in the UK, and racing had shut down, and they came to us and asked us if we could do a simulated horse racing event, and that's really how virtual started. So we really created the category. But yeah, it's an exciting thing, and certainly in North America, for people that haven't seen it before, I'd encourage them to go on and take a look and see how realistic the events are. And frankly, you can pick your sport, and you might like horse racing, you might like football, but you can try other stuff. And it's quick. These are 90 seconds is about the maximum amount of time that there's an outcome. So for people who are looking, when they're doing regular sports betting, they play virtual sports kind of in between. Really as kind of a filler.
You know, one of the games I want to ask you about is the NFL football game. It's called V-Play NFLA Legends Football, and it's a lot of fun. Can you tell us about that game?
Sure. So we made a deal with the NFL Alumni Association, in part because, we wanted to help support the cause of retired players and their healthcare issues. So there's certainly that aspect of it. So, but we went to them and said, look, our players probably identify more with retired players than they do with the current players. So when you see a game that's going on with the Philly team or the Pennsylvania team playing a New York team, we have the ability to be able to have, Reggie White sack Phil Simms in a virtual thing. I said that, of course, because I'm an Eagles fan, so I have to, say it that way.
So am I. I love your reference. So,
so basically we filmed, players to have this realistic outcome, but then using the brand, the license of the NFL alumni, we have former NFL players. So basically it's their, the helmets and the jersey numbers and the names. But for players that like the quick pace outcome, and it's kind of like the red zone in that we show highlight clips, and as the score aggregates and people go through. So again, the outcome's determined pretty quickly in like 90 seconds, but people identify with their teams and with players that they used to love.
Now, you're doing something with the Major League Baseball Players Alumni Association called Home Run Shootout. Can you tell us something about that?
Yeah, we're super excited about that. With the success of the NFL game, we basically said, well, where's another game that we're thinking about doing? Because we'd always wanted to do a baseball game. And we thought probably the easiest way to do a baseball game would be a home run shootout, so similar to a home run derby. And we said, look, we've had so much success with the alumni from football. Let's go talk to the Major League Baseball folks about doing an alumni game. And they were really supportive of it. They didn't know much about virtual sports. We explained it to them. So we did a licensing deal with them that included, a number of players. And then now we've gone out and done some individual licenses with former players or their families, the legacy. So we just announced yesterday that we'd made a deal with the Babe Ruth folks. So we'll have, I think this is going to be fascinating to watch, a home run contest with, Babe Ruth and Reggie Jackson. I think players are going to love it. So we'll be announcing kind of more big names, hopefully shortly. But yeah, we think this is going to be something that will appeal to folks, because who wouldn't want to see, a home run hitting contest with, Babe Ruth or Mickey Mantle or Reggie Jackson or Mike Schmidt or whoever it may be.
How closely do you work with the Major League Baseball Players Alumni Association to create the game?
So we show them as we're creating it, and in fact, as we were doing the work for Babe Ruth, we showed them, a simulated version that we've done using CGI. And I'm telling you, the representation and the look of Babe Ruth is so spot on. It's scary. And so what we do is basically, as we're building the game, we'll show it to them, and very much like what you would see, in a movie thing where, you show early cuts and edits, and they'll give feedback to us. And then ultimately, when we go live with the game, hopefully in the first or second quarter of next year, it'll be one that Major League Baseball, the Players Alumni Association, has had a chance to look at and approve.
Now, what types of bets can people place on, like something like the home run shootout game?
So still in concept, and we have a lot of ideas, but, you would think you'd be able to pick, obviously, one versus the other. We'll do tournaments. You'll be able to pick, over, under on the total number of home runs, things like that. So very common bets that you would see in sports betting. So obviously in horse racing, it's win, place, or show, exactas, trifectas, superfectas, et cetera, et cetera. In football, it's total points, it's over unders, it's spreads. So anybody who's done sports betting would be able to do that, and certainly casino players in New Jersey would be very familiar with it. But we also have a deal with the Pennsylvania Lottery, where our virtual horse racing product is shown in 9,000 locations, only 1,000 of which have actual video. So many of the locations don't have video, but people basically pick numbers based on the odds. So they'll look at a 12-horse race, and the 1 horse is always the favorite and the 12 is always the longest shot. But they find it exciting to pick numbers and, see the outcome happen every 90 seconds as opposed to, picking 3 numbers and waiting for the nightly draw. So the product really appeals to a wide variety of players, people that are interested in sports betting and like handicapping, or people that just want to have fun and pick numbers.
Stick around. We'll be right back with House of Cards.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Hey, this is Dave Weishaupt from House of Cards with your House of Cards gaming report for the week of December 6, 2021. The 9 Atlantic City casinos appear to be bouncing back from the pandemic. The gross gaming revenue for the seaside town doubled from this time last year. In the third quarter of 2021, New Jersey casinos reported a gross operating profit of over $310 million. That figure is more than double than what the casinos earned while operating under pandemic restrictions in the third quarter of 2020. Foxwoods is jumping into the Caribbean casino market. The Connecticut-based casino company opened the Fairmont El San Juan Casino in San Juan, Puerto Rico. The Mashantucket Pequot tribe, which owns Foxwoods, spent $12.5 million on the San Juan property. The opening of the Caribbean casino marks the first time the tribe has opened a property outside of Connecticut. And finally, if you're a fan of the Wheel of Fortune slot machine, something big has happened. IGT, which owns the game, has unveiled its omni-channel Wheel of Fortune game. This first-of-its-kind progressive game will link the Wheel of Fortune Gold Spin Triple Gold game you find in retail casinos to its counterpart on the online casinos. As of now, only customers in New Jersey can play this game. Have any news or tips regarding casinos, gaming, or legislation? Send us an email at newsroom@houseofcardsradio.com and follow us on Twitter at HOC Radio.
You're listening to House of Cards.
Your Majesty, the royal wrestlers await.
I'll bet on the little guy. How much? 3,000 guineas, 2 geese, and a duck. That's a foul bet.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishaupt with you. House of Cards is brought to you by BetMGM Casino. Play your favorite casino games at BetMGM Online Casino. Slots, table games, live dealer games, everything you love about Atlantic City and Vegas, all online at BetMGM. Go to BetMGM Casino, create an account using our promo code Turnpike, and become a verified player. New players get $25 free when signing up, plus a first deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's promo code Turnpike at BetMGM.com for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus $25 free. Must be 21 years or older to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. For those of you just joining us, I am talking with the president and COO of Inspired Entertainment, Brooks Pierce. You know, talking about appealing to a wide range of people who will really enjoy these games. I told my dad about the home run shootout that you're coming out with, and my dad just turned 80. and he can't wait to try it out because he loves that idea and he loves the concept. Was that your intention when creating these games, appealing to a wide range of fans across the age spectrum?
Yeah, I think it is, and I think most of the players that would engage in our products are probably used to sports and have preferences to what they like. But honestly, it can be done. There's when I showed the Kentucky Derby product to I have kids that are in their 20s and 30s, and they loved it. They was like, "Dad, this is so cool." So yeah, I think it appeals to really a wide audience. And I think what people really like about it is, number one, it happens fast. So you're getting the outcome very quickly. And if you want to really try and look at the odds and everything, try and figure something out, you can. But if you just like to pick random numbers, or to your dad, if he happens to, want to see Babe Ruth go head to head with Mickey Mantle in the home run shootout, I mean, that's fun. It's entertaining. And if you throw a few bucks on it, I mean, this is not it's not high stakes. People aren't betting, hundreds of dollars on a spin. The average bet size probably $4 or $5. So it's really appeals to, I think to your question, it appeals to a very wide audience of players, and there's a lot of different, ways to enjoy our product.
Now, virtual sports isn't just growing in this country. It's really a global industry. I mean, recently you just signed a deal with an iGaming company called Mozart for Eastern Europe. What does that deal entail?
Yeah, I mean, it's much bigger. Frankly, it's really the reverse. It's brand new in North America, and it's just really starting to get its footing here. But it's been a fully developed product in the rest of the world. So our biggest markets are UK. Italy is a huge virtuals market. Greece. So there's a number of markets outside of North America that are big. And again, soccer is the predominant sport, or football, as everyone else around the world calls it, except us.
Yeah.
Is by far the biggest sport. And we'll do everything from, just games. We'll do World Cup simulations. We'll do penalties. We do a game called Match Day, where it's 8 games going on at once. So it's very much like a parlay bet. In Greece, we have games with the Greek soccer teams. We have it with international teams. So yeah, it's look, we're trying to appeal to the broadest audience from both a geographic perspective and age perspective, and frankly, sports that people engage with and like. I may not be a guy that would be betting on darts, but if you go in the UK, there's tons of people that want to play virtual darts.
Yeah, I always say I don't get the whole table tennis craze that people bet on, but if you like betting on it and if you're good at it, hey, offer it, whatever. But
Sure.
And speaking of deals, Inspired Entertainment made a big deal in Canada. Inspired is going to launch iLottery games through a partnership with Lotto Quebec. Can you tell us something about the iLottery games that you think you're planning on releasing?
Sure. So, since you're in New Jersey, and I'm sure a bunch of your listeners are in New Jersey, you would have seen our content on, most of the gaming suppliers in New Jersey, whether it's Caesars or whether it's BetMGM or DraftKings, et cetera, et cetera. And so a number of us, myself and Lauren Wheel included, have a ton of experience in the lottery industry and know the industry well. And frankly, the difference now between slot content and iLottery content, so electronic scratch-off tickets, is really the lines have blurred. So it really came to us as a combination of Lotto Quebec was a big iGaming customer of ours, and we said, well, look, we're thinking about doing some iLottery games. Let us show you some concepts and see what you think. And we showed them to them, and they said, great, sign us up. We'll take them. So we see it as an opportunity to leverage the experience and skill set that we've developed in the iGaming side of the business, where we have 150 titles. So modify them for the iLottery application. And iLottery is, probably the fastest growing part of the lottery business, just like everything in the world is going online. So we see it as just a natural progression and great utilization of the talent, our game design talent that we have already. So a very natural extension for us.
Now, I know in the U.S., iLottery has been really growing in states like, Virginia, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Does Inspired have plans for iLottery games in the U.S.?
Yeah, 100%. Lotto Quebec was just the first, but we're in discussions with a number of lotteries, and we obviously think the product will resonate equally well in the States as it does in Canada, and certainly I think the industry is crying out for some innovation and additional content. And we do think that the experience that we've had in iGaming, particularly as it comes to play styles and mechanics and some of the things that we've done from a revolutionary standpoint in the iGaming space, we can bring to the iLottery space as well. So, yeah, the industry's been very excited about us coming into the space.
Over the last year and a half, virtual sports, iLottery, and online gaming have really exploded due to the pandemic. How has the evolution of virtual sports and online gambling been affected by the pandemic? I mean, would we have seen the growth in these fields despite the pandemic, or has the pandemic really accelerated the growth of virtual sports?
Yeah, look, that's an interesting question. And I think the answer to it is yes, it has. There's no doubt it's accelerated the growth. I mean, we're seeing growth rates in our online businesses, that we've never seen before. But the really interesting thing about it is, the pandemic is, I don't think anybody will say it's over, but it's certainly, the world is coming back a little bit more to normal. And where at one point we had literally 100% of our retail operations closed down, and the only business we had was the online business, and fortunately for us, that was growing substantially and kept us going until the retail business came back. But now the retail business is back, and it's back really at 100% of pre-COVID levels. But we anticipated that, with retail coming back, online would start declining. And the reality is it actually hasn't. Not only has it not declined, it's still actually growing. So I think what our thesis is that people have gotten used to playing our games, whether it's virtual sports or iGaming or eventually iLottery. So they may go to their casino or betting shop, but they're going to play it when they're home and or on their mobile phone. Increasingly, probably 80 to 90% is probably done on the phone as opposed to a desktop. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're super excited that the online business continues to grow even with retail coming back.
Right now, Inspired is working in something like 35 jurisdictions in the world. In terms of growth, what can we expect from virtual sports, and what can we look forward to from Inspired Entertainment in the coming year?
Well, yeah, we always are looking to expand in our geographies. So Latin America is certainly an area that we believe our products will do very well. Certainly, seeing a Latin American baseball player in a home run derby contest, we think would have great appeal there. So expanding in geographies, yes. Canada has now opened up to some more stuff. Ontario looks like they're going to go full iGaming. So plenty of geographic expansion. And we're adding sports, baseball, as we've talked about a lot today, but probably the next sport for us after that would be hockey. And we think that would appeal not only to North American markets, but to Scandinavian markets and Eastern European markets. So we're constantly trying to find the opportunity to grow our business. And thankfully, we just actually reported our earnings yesterday, and our growth rates were substantial, and our company's at a 52-week high in terms of share price. So we seem to be doing something right, but, as I said to my management team this morning, there's no place for complacency. We have tons of things to keep going and obviously continue growing.
Brooks, we're running out of time, but can you give out a website for Inspired Entertainment so people can check it out and follow what you're up to?
Sure. www.inseinc.com, where they can actually go on and literally demo play any of our slot content, any of our virtual sports content. So yeah, that's the inseinc.com is the place to go to see anything to do with Inspired.
Brooks Pierce, President and COO of Inspired Entertainment, thank you so much for coming on and telling us about the incredible things Inspired is doing. I mean, you're at the forefront of virtual sports, and I hope you come back on and keep us up to date about the amazing things that Inspired has planned for the future.
No, happy to do that, and thank you very much for having me on. And you clearly did all your homework, so I appreciate that you asked a bunch of questions, that you've done your homework. So I hope your listeners enjoy it, and look forward to catching up to you again. That'd be fun.
Great. Stick around. We'll be right back with more House of Cards. House of Cards is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com. We're going to take a quick break. See you on the other side.
People gotta win sometime.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a giant, colorful check to deposit.
Beating the House is brought to you by BetMGM Casino. Play your favorite casino games at BetMGM Online Casino. Slots, table games, live dealer games, everything you love about Atlantic City and Vegas, all online at BetMGM. Don't wait. Join in the fun now. Go to BetMGM Casino, create an account using our promo code Turnpike, and become a verified player. New players get $25 free when signing up, plus a first deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's promo code Turnpike at BetMGM.com for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus $25 free. Grab a lion's share of the fun at BetMGM.com. Must be 21 years or older to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's Beating the House segment, where we talk about the casino wins, slots, table games, bad beats. This week we even have a football contest jackpot to talk about.
Oh, okay.
We discuss lottery. We've got a whole bunch of them to talk about today.
You've been getting a lot of emails about jackpots and things like that. That's great. Everyone's responding to it.
Well, it's becoming more and more popular hearing about some of these jackpots. I know the sports books always send out the big parlay winners and all that stuff, but a lot of times you don't hear about. The casinos don't push the slot jackpots as much as they should.
Yeah.
And
I think it's great marketing for the casinos as well. You want to know that you actually can win. I actually won $10 in Philly, so that was a great thing on the slot machines.
Oh yeah, there you go.
It's not a huge amount, but bought a couple beers.
Speaking of Pennsylvania, since you just brought up Philly,
okay,
we are in Pennsylvania this week.
Am I part of this? No.
I don't see $10 here. So
okay.
No. Mohegan Sun Pocono, one of the press releases we received to the show. Michael of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, was playing the Dragon Cash slot machine inside Mohegan Sun Pocono.
Okay.
This is back on November 19th. Your birthday, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So somebody, won some money on your birthday.
Good for him.
He struck it big by hitting a jackpot totaling $51,627.
Wow.
Not a lot of money in terms of the other jackpots we've talked about. But,
hey, I'm happy about my $10 slot win.
Well, in other November jackpots at Mohegan Sun Pocono, $100,000 on the Screaming Lynx slot machine.
It's the second time I heard that. Did I hear it last week?
We didn't have a Mohegan Sun Pocono last week.
I
so
think we had a Screaming Lynx or 2
we had a
weeks
Lock-It
ago.
Link.
Okay.
Different games.
It was something Link.
And $49,000 was won on the Quick Hits Super Wheel, which is that big wheel.
Yeah.
So a couple of jackpots, a little different, more slots and some other type of machines there. But first time we've had Mohegan Sun Pocono, which is a really nice casino resort up in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. By the way, in case you ever see it in print, Barry is spelled B-A-R-R-E.
And there's a hyphen between Wilkes-Barre.
Yes. So for people who have never been to Wilkes-Barre, there you go. Going over to Stations Casino, and this is the football contest I talked about just a little while ago.
All right. I love these contests.
Well, out of 3,075 total entries in the Station Casino's College Football Last Man Standing contest, local patron Dan B. was the one left standing out of 6 remaining contestants heading into Week 9 of college football.
This NFL season has been brutal, and it's been it's been really, really hard on the people who play these contests because you have to use a different team every week, and there's been so many upsets. It's been crazy.
Well, this is a college football contest, which is even worse.
This is even tougher.
Yes. It's kind of interesting that he chose Oregon minus 6.5 that week for his winning selection in Week 9.
All right.
So he came out ahead of $100,000 by being the last man standing.
And this is what, Week 9?
Week 9.
Wow. See, that's how tough it's
he beat
been,
3,074 other players to win $100,000, and he collected it at Red Rock.
Okay.
It was in all the Stations casinos.
All right.
But he collected it at Red Rock, and all the way through Week 9, and he gave out a little strategy tip for how he won this.
Okay.
He chose all favorites throughout the season. I don't know if that's a real strategy tip, but
all right. Okay.
Again, I think a lot of the college lines this year were actually almost worse than the pro lines.
Yeah,
because
some of the lines were just crazy, man.
I mean, I'm not a college football
Alabama,
better.
God, they had a 50, minus 50 at one game, 1 week. But no, that's difficult. Even though it seems kind of obvious. Choose the favorites, but you know what? It's not always that easy. I mean, you can
especially in college.
You can choose the favorites, and they might not cover. So good for him. I mean, he chose the right favorites.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
He chose the right favorites.
But I don't think we've ever done a football contest since we started doing this segment. This is the first one.
Yeah, well, I think the results are going to start coming in. College football is winding down, and pro. My God, we're in week 13, so it's kind of winding down. So. I mean, especially with the pro contest, you hear things coming out of Vegas, the Survivor contest and Circa and things like that. There's a lot of people dropping. Well, and I know in Thanksgiving, I know a lot of people took Dallas in their Survivor contest. So, it should be interesting to see the numbers coming out of that Thanksgiving. Well, it's interesting for the Survivor contest. Thanksgiving and the Sunday, 3 days later, are 2 different weeks for a lot of contests. So it should be interesting to see the numbers coming out of these 2 days.
So in some Survivor contests, they're doing 18 weeks instead of 17.
Oh, yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
Well, some Survivor contests were, Thanksgiving was a separate week than the following Sunday. So you had to put in two entries, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, I haven't heard some of the stats yet, so it should be interesting to see how many people dropped.
Well, moving over to the Mississippi Lottery, we got a couple lottery stories to talk about. A free ticket turned into a jackpot.
Wow, okay.
In South Mississippi.
All right.
Now, this player went in to cash a match 5 ticket from a previous drawing, according to the lottery.
So he used
he won a free ticket.
How do you get a free? Oh,
that's one of the prizes in this game.
So the ticket says you get a free ticket.
Right.
He won a free ticket from a previous ticket.
And that ticket turned into a $200,000 jackpot.
Wow. Good for them.
So a free ticket turned into $200,000, and wow, it came from Greer's Market on Mississippi 614 in Hurley. So I don't know if that's a like a sip and go kind of thing, or or a 7-Eleven or a supermarket. But a Greer's Market, head on over there. He just turned out a $200,000 winner, people. Okay. If you're in Mississippi, go over to Hurley, Mississippi, and go to Greer's Market.
Were you trying to find an equivalent to
whatever Greer's
like
Market is?
Wawa, or something like that?
Why? Which I said Wawa?
No, I'm just saying. Better than the sip and what did you call it?
I said sip and go because it was the first thing that popped into my head. You're lucky I didn't say Quickie Mart.
Is there a sip and go still? Where is there a sip and go?
They're all down south.
Oh, okay, all right. So Sip and Go is actually a competitor for Greer's Market?
Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah. So. But, okay, Quickie Mart. I'll do from The Simpsons, okay?
Okay.
Going over to the Ontario Lottery. 3 Toronto area friends have claimed a Lotto 649 jackpot worth more than $21 million. Wow. Now, the game is Lotto 6/49. I didn't know how to say slash there. But that's the name of the game, Lotto 649.
I don't even know what that refers to.
I got to go take a look at the game. I got to take a look. I didn't have a chance to take a look at
whatever
it
is, it pays off. $21 million?
Well, the group had the winning ticket for the September 22nd draw. They purchased it through the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation website. So it was an online ticket.
Oh, cool.
So what happened was one of the friends woke up the morning after the drawing happened. And this is interesting, too. I don't know if every lottery does this. He checked his email when confetti appeared on the screen.
I didn't know they sent emails.
They must do that in Ontario.
Yeah, well, to be perfectly honest, I have never bought a lottery ticket online, so I don't know, the process they go through. But
more to the point, I haven't bought an Ontario lottery ticket.
Well, yeah,
so I don't know exactly how the Ontario lottery works.
But in New Jersey and in lots of states, you can buy lottery tickets online. I mean, I didn't know they would notify you like that.
Well, he called his friends when he saw the confetti, and they talked about it, shared the good news. And the group has been buying lottery tickets for 16 years now. They plan on continuing to do what they do. To win even more money from the
You do
Ontario
something for
lottery.
16 years, you kind of like it. And a lot of people do like football.
Or it's just habit.
Well, a lot of people do football pools and baseball pools because you know what? That's a way to keep in touch with your friends. I mean, so we know a guy who does a football pool. He does it, it's a lot of work, but, he keeps in touch with his friends and he talks to his friends because otherwise he probably wouldn't be talking to these people around the country.
No. And
so, for doing something for 16 years, it must bring some joy. So, and I'm glad it actually brought him some money now.
Well, like you mentioned, the football pool, he's in one part of the country. Everybody else is in all different parts. It does keep things going, and, it keeps their friendship going, too, in Ontario there. North Carolina Lottery. A lottery win for thousands of North Carolina players this Thanksgiving. More than 9,000 people split $3.7 million on November 23rd.
How does that happen?
They all picked the same numbers. 444.
There's some significant to 444. Why would 9,000 people pick 444?
Some were quick picks, some were just actual physical picks. It just all happened.
If there are 9,000 quick picks doing 444, there
really
might
wrong.
be something wrong
really
with the computer system.
This was the Carolina Pick 3.
I've never heard of 9,000 people winning with 444.
All 9,513 tickets matched the same 3 winning numbers according to the North Carolina Education Lottery, but the prizes are all different. A person who bought it for 50 cents took home $250. Another person did it for $1. They won $500. All different denominations. So really, I think what happened, the computer probably looks at the bet size for the lottery and then does a whole random number generation for that bet size.
All right.
Well, that's the only thing I can think of.
I've never heard
According
of that.
to the lottery, the odds of matching the same 3 numbers are 1 in 1,000. So, I mean, I thought that'd be a little higher than 1 in 1,000.
Right. But 444, huh?
Yep.
All right.
Over in Michigan, we're going to the Michigan Lottery. We've done a lot of Michigan Lottery stories. They seem to have a good payout system there. A Jackson County man said his decision to play an extra Millionaire Maker 2 lottery ticket from the Michigan Lottery paid off as he won a $1 million jackpot.
Wow, good for him.
He was actually cashing in. He scratched one ticket. Didn't see anything on it. Before he left, he figured, let me buy one more. He bought the one more, scratched the ticket, and won the $1 million.
Wow, boy.
The winning ticket was bought at the Marathon gas station, and they even gave the address, located at 4115 Lansing Avenue in Jackson, Michigan.
Good. I wonder if the Michigan News it seems like he scratched it off in the actual.
He probably did it before he left the gas station.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if they have the video footage of him actually winning. It'd be a hell of a reaction.
Oh,
shot.
you mean the CCTV?
Yeah, the closed caption TV or the security camera. I wonder if they have these people winning the lottery and jumping up.
Hey, if anyone's got the CCTV footage, send it over to us. We'll take info at turnpikesportsradio.com. We'll take a look at it and put it up.
If I was in the middle of a store and I won $1 million, I'd be jumping across the walls and through the ceilings and whatever. It would be pretty good news footage.
And last but not least, we have a little bit of news. I'm throwing in a news story here. IGT. Now, we just came back from SBC Summit North America up in the Meadowlands. And IGT unveiled their first ever omni-channel Wheel of Fortune linked progressive slot machine. That's an awful big way of saying the progressive jackpot ties in the land-based slots as well as the online slots, as well as the mobile slots.
I mean, I think you're going to see a lot more of this because you got like a couple of casinos in Pennsylvania and Ohio going cashless gaming floors. I mean, we have Resorts World Las Vegas has a cashless gaming floor, and certainly you're going to need an online account to do stuff like that, and you're going to tie in all these online casinos. So it's going to be one big happy family.
And it's another Wheel of Fortune variant.
Yeah, Wheel of Fortune.
The Wheel of Fortune Gold Spin Triple Gold game is the new variant that is a linked progressive for mobile, online, and land-based. I'm actually surprised they're separating mobile and online, but I guess it's the PC.
You know, with so many people playing Wheel of Fortune now, they're linking it with retail and online. I mean, the progressive jackpots should be huge.
I'm just
surprised. more often, too.
Well, in Jersey, the iGaming industry is making more records than the sports betting industry.
Sure.
And, you're right. I think the progressives are going to be a hell of a lot bigger now if they link, once they link everything together. I'm actually surprised no one's thought of doing this before.
Well, they probably thought of it and they didn't have the technology. IGT has the tech.
Well, that's it for this week's Beating the House. Keep the press releases coming in. We'll keep doing the segment to talk about all the different winners from all the different areas of the gaming industry.
Well, that'll do it for another episode of House of Cards. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Wild country in your head.